Hi, hello, and welcome to yet another episode of World Cup Tidbits with Gully Cricket. And we have two boys who are very bright and shiny today. I don't know, probably it's a light, probably it's a
Come
lighting or
on,
something. Okay,
don't do
and
that song. Like,
and I don't know, like I'm sitting in a place which is very dark, and I'm not able to figure out the right combination as
no,
well.
no, you are also looking bright. No worries.
Oh, is it? Thank you.
Yeah,
But who was shining really bright was the number one ranked T20 team in the world, wasn't there? Manas, England, simply put, okay, clinical performance, and they're looking ominous.
Yeah. So they started well, bowled well, batted really well as well. So it was a kind of all-round performance. You could say they have world-class bowlers, Moeen Ali or Adil Rashid, or even the Pacers are doing a really good job. Never let Bangladesh get going, and Bangladesh just fell for like less than 120, and
Mm.
the chase was nothing actually. Jason Roy could just, I think he would have scored 100 if the target was little more. And definitely a good chance for England to improve their run rate as well. So they just finished off in 13 overs with Jason Roy scoring a 50. Brilliant match.
Exactly. It was such a critical performance. Shash, let's talk about
yeah,
Moeen Ali, right? I mean, uh, for a long time, Moeen Ali's role was not clearly defined in the England cricket team, right? Like
yeah.
they didn't know like whether he opens the bowling, whether he opens the batting or something. So now that he's kind of settled, like he knows what exactly his role is. He's doing wonders, right? I mean, if not for the starts with the bat, he's giving amazing starts with the ball.
Yes, definitely. He sort of broke the momentum, getting those 2 wickets in 1 over in the power play itself, and it seemed like Bangladesh could never recover from that. Even though his first over went for 10 runs, it was brave of Morgan not to change him,
Mm,
and then you could see why as well. I would, to be honest, I would say it was a very poor performance by Bangladesh.
mm,
Considering the talent that they have, they should be like able to do better. Like the amount of batting that they have and everything. They should have easily got to like 150 plus, but yeah, they struggled their way through. Credit to the England bowlers, especially someone like Livingston coming in and also chipping in with those wickets in between as well. That was unexpected. Probably Bangladesh saw that out of the syllabus, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, and to be very honest, I didn't know that Livingston actually bowls. I've seen him in the IPL. Okay, I thought he was an opening batsman. He comes and hits all the shots. But talk about that, Manas. Okay, not just Moeen Ali, Taimal Mills, and Liam Livingston. Okay, they tied Bangladesh so much that they were never able to get off the blocks itself.
Yeah, so they actually have very good pace attack as well as spin attack. So even Timal Mills at the end, he was bowling, he was wearing every ball, and it was kind of unplayable at the end, and that's why he got 3 wickets at the death. So that's when the players would try to strike and get some runs on the board, but he never gave them a chance. And other bowlers as well in the like we talked about Moeen. Even after getting belted in the first over, he just came back in the third and took off 2 wickets and broke the partnership. And all credit to that, they could never start going.
Yeah, I mean, I was checking the scores. Okay, 10 for no loss after 1 over. And I thought, all
Yeah.
right, Bangladesh are off to a good start. And then I saw, right, 14 for 1, 14 for 2, and it was that, okay. Shash, it could have been a tricky chase, knowing that, what, Bangladesh has got a lot of spinners and all of that. But Jason Roy's innings, okay, I mean,
Yeah.
right from the time, like towards the end of the IPL, right, he's been providing great starts for the teams that he's playing for.
Yes, definitely. I think that is what his role is, and we have seen him do it in the past. It is nothing new, but to do it on a consistent basis is something that is not easy, and he's been able to give them those stats.
Hmm.
You would say, and that is one of the reasons why England have been doing so well the T20 format. The thing with England is the batsmen, are like naturally aggressive. I think the only guy whom you can say is a little. I would say less aggressive would be David Malan.
David
But
Malan.
then again, probably he's there like trying to play the role of what Joe Root used to do in the one day team,
Hmm.
hold the team together so that others can express themselves freely. But yeah, nothing said and done. I mean, Jason Royce knock sealed the game, and England went on to put on a very clinical performance.
So that was a dominating performance, we should say, from England. In fact, two dominating performances Okay,
Yeah.
and yeah, they're there at the top of the table. And yeah, I mean, especially in a group like that group, right? I mean, every win is crucial and it takes you one step closer to that semi-final spot. So that was England versus Bangladesh. Okay,
Yeah.
and as we predicted yesterday, boys, right? I mean, the next match was even more interesting, isn't it? Scotland versus Namibia. But Manas, I think the deciding factor was the first four balls, right? Wicket, 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 and yeah, Namibia like were on the offensive from there itself.
Yeah. So there was no runs scored in the first over except for two extras. So the scorecard was just W everywhere, either wide or wicket. And we are expecting something from Scotland openers at least because they have been scoring consistently even against Bangladesh. But the aggression with which the opening bowler bowled, I think that kind of set the game in favor of Namibia. And an interesting fact is that Albi Morkel, who played only one game against Scotland for South Africa, took two wickets in the first over. And he was the one who advised this guy to move to Namibia. So he actually played for Namibia today and bettered his record by taking three wickets in the first over.
Oh, okay.
So Albi Morkel will be
Oh,
proud of him today.
oh, definitely, definitely.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
but
would have told him to move, but he would not be happy that he bettered his record, I guess.
Manas, very nice to hear that name, Albi Morkel. Oh my God, he used to play for CSK, I remember.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. No
Yeah,
wonder you're feeling happy.
yeah. All those years back,
I
2010
think he
and
played for RCB also for a season, I guess.
correct, correct. I think
Yeah,
after
yeah.
after 2015, right?
Yeah,
Mm.
something like
Yeah,
that.
I think he played 2016, 17. I think that season he actually played for RCB. All right. So after that, they kept on taking wickets. Okay, it was a low score, but
Yeah,
just
yeah.
the chase was not straightforward, was it? It was a little tricky.
Yes, it was not straightforward as we thought it would be, considering that it was a total where you had to chase around 5.5 runs per over. But that's what when you're talking about these associate nations, they've not played a lot of cricket, you know. So these sort of situations can become a little intimidating to them. But credit to like Visa and I'm not able to recollect the other batsman
JJ
who Smith,
Smith.
yeah, JJ
Yeah,
Smith, who
Johannes
was there till the
Jonathan
end.
Smith.
I think he's
Okay,
also South
Manas would be
African
knowing.
or
Yeah.
yeah, South African or of Dutch origin, I guess. I'm not sure. So yeah, I mean, they managed to pull through with an over to spare. So yeah, they did do well. You know, they're definitely making the reputation no harm with his performances.
Yeah, I mean, nice to see all the Namibian fans celebrating, okay,
Yeah.
in the stands. And to be very honest, I'm falling in love with this Namibia team. No, I mean,
Mm.
they seem to be like enjoying their cricket and playing a brand, okay, which is really, really good. Okay, so Namibia put on the first points. Okay, so that actually makes the Group B table very, very interesting as well. So that's it for today, boys. But tomorrow we have a superb match in Group 1. It's Australia taking on Sri Lanka. So what do you expect, Manas?
I think Sri Lanka has a chance, definitely, after the last few performance. I don't think they're a weak team anymore because the previous game they played was a beautiful effort by the batsmen. And even the three warm-up games, they just won all three with a huge net run rate. So they do have the potential. And I think both are equally poised. But since it's in Dubai, I think the one who wins the toss and chases will win the game.
I mean, that's becoming a huge issue
Yeah.
since the IPL, isn't it? Okay, I mean, it looks like the team winning the toss has an advantage. But Shash, what do you think? Okay, I mean, the best part about Sri Lanka's victory was in the last match. It was not like one or two performances, right? They were
Yeah.
ahead and then they went back and then they managed to come back and win. I'm sure they would want to go in with that confidence.
Yes, I think as you mentioned the previous game where they looked down and out being at 80 for 4, but I think Rajpaksha and Asalanka were the two guys who actually got them through. So that would definitely put them in good stead. But yeah, and with all the bowling options that they have, like it seems like a different Sri Lankan team, especially considering the format, like a few balls or a few overs can change the course of the game. So it is definitely not going to be a cakewalk for Australia, is what I would feel. So it seems to be a very interesting prospect tomorrow.
Yeah, and especially knowing that England are already on 4 points, right?
Hmm.
Every both the teams would want to win this and go to 4 points, and that would actually enhance the chances of making that semi-final as well. So two
Yeah.
superb matches today, or I should say one super match and one okay match, and one very exciting match to look forward to. Remember our contest, guys. Today, like thank you for participating in all the contests. First match, the man of the match was Jason Roy, and we did not get any right predictions. We got Butler and all the other people, okay, but not Jason Roy, okay. And for second match, the man of the match is Trumple Man, and we got quite a few right predictions, okay. And let's see who the winners are.
So there is one winner.
There is definitely going to be one winner. Yes, and here we go. The winner is okay. I don't think you will be able to
Can't
see.
see.
Visible.
I said
Yeah.
right. I'm in a dark place. Okay, it's Nishit
Uh,
Koti.
Oh,
Okay.
oh,
Yeah, the winner is Nishit Koti. Congratulations,
congrats.
Nishit. Well done. Congratulations. So remember, folks, this is going to be the link to predict the man of the match for both the matches tomorrow. And remember, you will have to predict before the start of the second innings of each match. Till then, enjoy the cricket and we will see you tomorrow. Cheers, guys.